we're going to be looking at author's purpose. So let's look at what happens when people write. They make lists of things before they go shopping so they don't forget anything. They write letters or emails, tell friends about special events or things going on in their lives. They write news articles to tell about events taking place in the world or the community. So why do authors write? One way is they write to entertain. They want to share a story in order to entertain the reader. So narrative stories, a narrative would be a story that tells about events in a character's life. Novels, chapter books, short stories is when you have characters who are involved in the events. That's a narrative to entertain. These are all examples of stories written to entertain the reader. Jane Yolen wrote Owl Moon to entertain the reader. She wrote the story to tell a story, and she tells about her experience looking for owls. So an author's purpose, it could be to entertain, tell a story, tell about an experience. These are all descriptors for when an author is writing to entertain. Authors also use stories and articles to give information. An informational piece is usually nonfiction. It's something that gives information about a topic, or it could be like a news article or things in a magazine. These are all examples of stories written to give information to the readers. So the author wrote this book to give it information about insects. The author might explain facts or give facts about the insects or describe them. So the author's purpose could be to inform, to explain, to give facts, to describe. These are all when an author writing is to inform the reader. Another author's purpose is to persuade the reader to believe in a certain way. Vote for me because I will make this a great country. In persuasive writing, you try to convince to agree with a viewpoint. One example is advertisements. Some words that are used are should, must, ought to, need. Advertisements are also written to persuade people about a product. People who write advertisements for children's cereal, they try to convince you to buy their cereal with bright colors, colorful characters, and toy prizes, and they argue that their product is the best. Author's purpose to persuade, to convince, to argue. These are all stories or articles to persuade the reader. So if you look at it, you often think of PIE. Persuade, inform, entertain. These are all reasons that authors choose to write. And we will be working with persuade, inform, and entertain. So let's look at this quickly. It says smoking hurts the lungs and the heart. So it could be to inform me, but when I look down here, I see 6 reasons not to start smoking. It's probably going to try to persuade me to not smoke. This talks about the Hispanic population soaring. If I look at it, it says the face of the United States is changing. Hispanic Americans, also known as Latinos, make up the fastest growing group. The latest U.S. Census update shows that 41 million people are Hispanic. A census is a count of people. I believe this is giving me information about a change in the population. And another article is called Casey Saves the Play. Casey dipped her paintbrush in a tray of yellow paint. She was painting stars on a huge screen of wood. The school play this year was Songs in Space, and Casey had agreed to paint the sets. While she worked, the actors rehearsed on stage, and a girl named Amelia had the lead role. She played an astronaut exploring a new planet. Now she was singing her song. And a quick read, just the beginning, that tells me the author's probably going to entertain because it has characters and events. So that gives you an idea of author's purpose that we're going to be working with today.